Welcome back to the Electrical Building Design Show. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the new wire sizing features in Revit 2026. First, let's take a look at what they removed from Revit 2025. If we go into electrical settings, we have the wiring section. They've removed the ambient temperature and the max voltage drop options, so those no longer exist. Also, the wire sizes, correction factor, and ground conductor have all been removed and moved to a different location. So those are no longer in electrical settings, and they all work a little bit differently. Let's see what they did with those in Revit 2026. If we go to our electrical settings, you will see that under wiring, those options have all been removed, so they're not here anymore. Instead, they have been moved to this new electrical conductor and cable settings section. We'll run that command and it opens up this new window with the electrical conductor and cable settings. It's got a couple tabs and we can walk through those here. On this first tab, we have the conductor details. This has 3 properties for your conductors: the material, the temperature rating, and the insulation material. These are all relevant values for your conductors. They're not actually used anywhere by Revit at this time, so you can't schedule them. They don't show up in the UI. You do have access to them through the API, so any third-party developers would have access to them and they could use them for their purposes. But right now, as a user, there's nothing that you can specifically do with these. This is a project that was converted, so we have a single material of copper. There's a single temperature rating, and under insulation material, there are 2 options there. Next, we have the conductor sizes. These are the names and sizes of all your wires. So each wire has a name and then a diameter. One question here is, which diameter are they talking about? Is this the diameter of the conductor itself, or is this the diameter of the conductor plus the insulation? Depending on what calculations you're doing, those 2 different diameters actually matter and are used in different places. Since the insulation is actually over here in conductor details, you can assume that this conductor size is intended to be the size of just the wire itself without the insulation included. The diameter with the insulation is mostly used for conduit fill, and they don't have conduit sizes in this at all, so it probably doesn't matter that they don't have that diameter included. The third tab is cable sizes. So cable size is a configuration of conductors. It's the number of wires, the size of the wires, and the types of wires that are all grouped together. You can assign a name to the cable size and then the number of wires in each type of wire here. One of their goals was to make the wire sizes work better internationally, and so this way you can use whatever naming convention is appropriate for your geographic location. This is a manually created table, so each configuration of wires has to be manually created in your project. There's no automatic creation for it, so it's going to be a little bit of data entry to get all of your wire types in here. This is what's converted from that project I was looking at. It's got a number of wire sizes created, and then if we need more, they do need to be added one at a time. Then the final tab is cable types, where we pull all of this together. You have a name for the cable type. You have those 3 properties from the conductor details: the material, temperature rating, and insulation material. You have the core type, whether it's a single or multi-core. And then you have the cable sizes that are available for this cable type. Again, these properties aren't used anywhere, so the material, temperature rating, insulation material, those aren't used anywhere, but they're available in the API for third-party developers. The cable sizes are going to be used, so when you actually assign a cable size, you first choose a cable type, and then that gives you the cable sizes that you have available to select. You can see here for the THWN, nothing is actually selected, and it's all selected for the XHHW. So just the way this one got converted, they're assuming everything is this insulation material, and all of those are usable sizes, and over here, none of them are usable. I'll go ahead and check a couple so that we have some sizes when we go to actually use these. And let's go take a look at how you assign these wire sizes. I'll move over to this view here. I'll select a piece of equipment. We'll go to the circuit. And in properties for the circuit, we now have the cable type, the number of runs, and the cable size. The cable type is going to be from that 4th tab, the 2 options that we have there. And then the cable size are all of the cable sizes that are usable sizes for that cable type. If we change our cable type, we are going to get a different set of cable sizes. So it's that shorter list. If we select a cable size here, it's going to fill it in all of the number of conductors and their sizes. If you have multiple parallel runs, you set that in the circuit and the number of runs. So if I change this from 1 to 2, the assumption is that you have 2 runs of this number 4 wire happening. What I've shown here is what the wire sizing looks like on a converted project. Let's take a look at what it looks like in a new project. I'm going to create a new project here, and we can go to Manage and take a look at the conductor and cable settings. So these settings are going to be based on what's in that template. So the default template that is being shipped now has aluminum and copper. For temperature rating, we have 60, 75, and 90 degrees Celsius. And then we have a huge list of insulation materials. Under conductor sizes, we have standard American wire gauges. So these are all available for your wire sizes. And then under cable sizes, you have nothing. So here, when you are starting a new project, you're going to have to be creating this list of cable sizes and then assigning it to the cable types. We have out of the box the THWN and the XHHW. Let's go ahead and make a new cable size to just walk through how that's going to work. I'll click Add. We give it a name. So we'll make a basic number 12 circuit. It's going to have a single hot conductor. It's going to be number 12 wire. It's going to have a single neutral, number 12 neutral, single ground, number 12 ground. No other conductors. Now let's make a cable size that has 3 hot neutrals. So we'll add that. We'll do 3 number 12 neutral, number 12 ground, and then we configure all of that. You can see that that name is not at all related to the wires. So it is up to you to make sure that there's actually a correlation between the two. So I could come in here and I could set this to number 8 ground, and now this name and this ground conductor are not matching. Obviously you want to make sure that those are matching, but that is up to you as the designer to make sure that everything is input properly. Then we can assign these to our cable types. So we can select the aluminum, make it usable for both of that, and also assign it to the copper and make it usable for both of that. So if the configuration of wires is the same for the materials, you can reuse those cable sizes. Aluminum actually has some different options for grounding, so you might need to have different cable sizes. Let's create another set of wires, these for 100 amp circuits. Let's start with copper wire with an equipment ground. So it's going to have a number 1 wire and a number 8 ground. So we'll do 3 number 1 wires, a number 1 neutral, and a number 8 ground. We'll set all of that. 3 hot wires. It's a number 1, a single neutral, number 1, and then a ground. That is a number 8 wire. That's for an equipment ground. A service ground, if we're connected to a transformer, is going to have a number 6 ground. So we're going to duplicate this, and we'll change that to a number 6 ground. Change it in the name, change it in the ground conductor size. Now, if this is aluminum wire, it actually needs to be 1/0, and the equipment ground is number 6, and the service ground is number 4. So we will create that as a new size. 3 1/0, 1/0 neutral, and a number 6 ground. Set our wire sizes to match all of that. And then we can duplicate this again and set the ground size for our service ground. Now we have these different wire sizes created, with the wire size assuming copper and aluminum, and then the ground sizing to match. Then we can go over to our cable types. And for this aluminum section, we can choose these 2 that were configured using aluminum settings. And then for copper, we can choose these options for copper. Now, when you set your cable type, when you are inserting a circuit, you set the cable type, you either choose the aluminum or the copper setting, and then you're going to get the wire sizes and the corresponding ground sizes that match. The big piece that is missing here is any way to import and export all of these cable sizes to other projects. You can configure it in a template and then use that template to start other projects. But if you have a project in progress and you make settings and changes, you can't transfer that to another project. You have to manually transfer that data. That's the one change that Autodesk could implement in a future version of Revit that would make this whole thing a little bit easier to use as the design engineer. There's a lot of other stuff they could add, diameters, including the insulation, impedance values for calculations, conduit sizes, so you can calculate conduit fill and size your conduits, but that's asking a lot. Let's just get an import and export as the next step. Quick ad before we go. This is all looking at the wire sizing in Revit 2026. We've also implemented wire sizing in ElectroBIM. So we have our wire sizes, our conduit sizes, and our wire ampacities. We actually size your conduits for you. We have impedance values for doing calculations. So if you want a slightly more robust wire sizing engine in Revit, ElectroBIM offers that to you. You can learn more at our website, designmaster.biz.